Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
No, it's so funny because Uri just literally turns to me and is like, I can't believe they're doing this. This feels like they're at the halfway mark, but they're only 20 minutes in. I'm like, Uri, they are at the halfway point.
You know why they call me the Rhino? And then he goes,
This guy, he's a hunter. And it's like, he's so elusive. Like, have you heard about these 7 huntings around the city? Like, who did this? Not the guy calling himself the hunter who hunts everybody all the time.
why would it be the guy that calls himself the hunter?
Guys, it's the third episode of the Celsius Pod, and we're talking about the third Sonic movie.
No, it's not. It's 107 and
107,
Which
and
is divisible by 3.
the first episode of the 100 streak to miss a member of the pod. Episode 107, we're missing Nikola. And so we replaced him with that hot dog light that I have now.
guys.
And Nikola won't be joining until episode 207. So
That's not right. That's not
We're missing him for 2 years. He'll never, guys.
the 2-year Nikola arc.
Guys, I was.
He's gonna come back with a full beard and gonna be like, guys,
guess what I
watched
watched?
a lot of films.
I watched all the Monsterverse movies again.
Guys, I was talking with Nikola about what college he would go to, and he was really telling me that he thinks he would be like in a frat, and I think that's so accurate. Like, I could see him.
He would definitely be in a frat, and he would just be a degenerate drinker and miss the podcast.
He would drink so much.
I could
that
see him
he
being
would
like
probably
arrested
die.
for like treating a pledge really badly.
He would abuse the pledges. That's a very Nikola move.
Guys, why didn't Nikola miss episode 109? Because 109 is the first episode that Nikola is not here.
I don't know, because guys, he's in a mall right now, so that's more important.
He is in a mall. He just forgot about the podcast for some reason.
Which is really embarrassing considering we do it every week.
But guys, I have something
At
to
the
say.
exact same time.
I saw that.
Well, okay, we delayed it by 30 minutes today, but I don't think that matters.
Give him more time.
Yeah,
We gave him more time.
but moving on from Nikola, the guy who
I think we need to talk about the schedule of the podcast.
yeah,
again.
obviously.
Yeah.
So like we have it at 7 every Monday,
Guys.
Pacific time, which is actually 10 EST for me and Uri.
Obviously.
But since we're here, it's 7.
And
For
the
everyone.
thing is, now that we own Nikola, we're gonna miss the guy who just interrupts when we're going on long tangents. He's like, say, I think you should die. You know, we need that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
do
it's 57
Yeah.
right now.
We need the wild card. That's Nikola. He balances all of us.
Well, he's the wild card.
It
all
is
right.
known that infamously he's the most energetic in episode 1, right? Everybody loves him in episode 1.
No.
Everyone loves
He's a
an
fan,
episode.
right? But I swear to God, I talked to some of my friends with this podcast. Like, yeah, Nikola's my favorite host, and then I'm deeply insulted because they didn't say me.
Wow.
Well, Beck, you're sort of like the main host.
I'm the breakout star,
No.
you know.
No.
See, I just tell people that I have a podcast, and then they send me other podcasts.
Yeah, and you're like,
Being
no.
like, hey, do you talk about Sigma males and get a ton of women on your podcast?
No,
to
I
tell-
actually talk about movies and TV shows, which is not a unique concept that we do. at
No,
all.
we're the first
we
people to
bring
do
the
this.
extra
Oh, we're
flair.
the first
to it.
people to do it. Oh, everyone stole it from us. We're like when you make that one really popular meme that it just gets lost who made it. We're that.
Yeah,
For-
but guys,
For a group of men making a podcast about a thing they
we're
like.
a podcast
White men, by
talking
the way.
about films.
White men.
White man, you're right. But we have been doing it for a long time and we are very consistent and we do a lot of it. So I think
And
there's
not
also
only
that.
do we talk about films, we make films.
No, I got the
Yeah.
tampons.
Oh, I have had mine.
I
for
should
a
have grabbed
long-
some to my school.
Mine has-
well, now I have to actually
Mine
buy
has
tampons.
been
This
sitting in
sucks.
my closet since week 2 of the reveal of the items and stuff.
And
I
I got
have
because-
started on my script and I'm 2 pages in, or like
I
3
will have
pages.
to get that later. I still need to buy the outfits and whatever other props. but I
want to
do
get a wig, but I'm not sure how feasible those are.
I have 3 wigs if you'd like one to use.
Yeah,
They're
I need a
blonde.
dark green wig.
Yeah.
I don't have
This
that.
character is going to be called Guy with Dark Green Wig, and that's going to win him Best Writing.
It's
Yep.
girl with dark green hair. Come on, Uri. Wow,
Oh.
sexist fuck.
But I did write lyrics to a song that I want.
But
I hope to have at least 3 songs in my movie.
3 original.
No, if you have more than one song, it's a musical.
Is that how it works?
I think if you have any song, it's a musical. So 3 definitely is a musical.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's true.
Well, I wrote the lyrics to one of them, and hopefully it's easy to make a song. I don't know.
But Beck, are
Is this one about Oppenheimer?
It's not about Oppenheimer, no.
the songs need to be, are they diegetic or non-diegetic in the musical, you know?
Ah, yeah.
They
Like
actively
with no
have it.
discernible music source.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's no discernible music source, but all the characters will dance and sing, which is you guys. You guys
have
dance.
no
It's you
discernible
guys.
music source.
But guys,
I watched Phineas and Ferb Roller Coaster Part 1 and Part 2, which that line is from.
wow.
What? Oh, no discernible music source?
Yeah.
I
Did
like-
you not get
I-
my reference?
I forgot. Although I think that Roller Coaster has, like, out of all the specials, has some of the best songs.
Mhm.
It does have the best songs. It also has like 6.
But my movie is actually all about music. The idea of music.
Wow.
Some kind of whiplash is what I'm.
No, but
Some kind of La La Land. Since
No.
Nicola's not here, I have to bring up La La Land.
I was toying
that-
with doing a music in my song, and there might be some music in my movie. I'm still not sure. Right now I'm trying to practice the guitar more often these days, so it may be something, but it's kind of interesting. I've written my script entirely, and tomorrow I start
Wow.
shooting. It's gonna
You
be
start-
yes,
Like children and women and
No,
men, and
like-
you're gonna kill them?
like
Not
shooting
just the men, but the women and the children.
shooting my
Congo.
movie. It's I've created 7 days for 7 sequences I need to shoot in my movie, and so
Wow.
I got all scheduled out. Tomorrow is day 1 of shooting, guys.
If it's not 1 day shoot, 1 day edit, it's not a Beck Lines film.
Yeah, that's if it's not 1 day shoot, same day edit, it's not an Aiden Maker film.
Yeah, but so it's exciting.
If it isn't color graded to be the darkest film ever, it's not an Uri Ponte film.
I don't play that hard dark. The thing is, guys, it's about 12-ish pages. It's I would say
what minute?
it's pretty tight. I will give a little teaser. There will be sock puppets in the movie. So,
Oh wow, I like it. It's already good.
but so that's pretty exciting. And so something I want to talk about related to movies. I saw that Beck's movie was on Letterboxd, so that inspired me to put my own movie on Letterboxd, Dreaming.
Oh, okay. I got
Well-
the first one though.
Well, I got on
The
IMDb
first
first.
Celsius film on. Okay, yeah, you have the first IMDb. I have the first Letterbox.
Did you even rate your film, Murray?
No, I figured out how to do it just now, so I'm now seeing that it appear in Letterboxd.
Oh, can you send it so we can see it?
Yeah, I'm looking up Dreaming. Uri, there's a lot.
There's a
films
lot of
called
movies. There's
Dreaming.
only one movie.
Oh, I found it. I found it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Technically, I haven't watched it, so I can't. lie
I
on
also
Letterboxd.
haven't watched it technically.
But I'll log it tonight, Uri.
But Beck, tell us your story of how you got Wander Seed on Letterboxd. Like, what made you want to do it?
So, I thought, hey, this is like the first film that I'm like very proud of that I've made in like a while. So I thought, hey, I should go all out, make it look like really professional. So I got it on Letterboxd. I submitted it to a festival and I posted it on my Instagram. So I got it all the way out there and it was seen by a lot of people. And
Wow.
so far, it has only 5-star ratings on Letterboxd, so it's a perfect film.
And how many
Well,
ratings?
How many is that, and who is it?
3 5-star ratings and 2 liked ratings. So,
So I know I gave it a 5
I know
stars.
I gave it a
and
5 star.
And Beck, you didn't star it at all. At all, actually.
Okay, well, I thought, hey, it would be a bit egotistical to give this 5 stars.
I just gave my movie 5 stars right now.
Okay, because Uri is an egotistic guy.
Isn't it
but
egotistic?
I'm a very humble guy.
Yeah. Okay. But no, that's amazing, guys. If you look on my,
Yeah, I think we should
put more
start putting.
our movies
We
on
should put the
Letterboxd.
Celsius Oscar films on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Like I can walk Aiden through it. Uri, I'm sure you know how to do it.
Yeah, I know
now.
I do it. But the thing is, guys, it's crazy. If you look at it says director, and then if you press my thing, it goes to all the things I've done. And the only other thing is a short film. Someone listed me as a star from my
God,
college.
Uri Fonte is Dewey from
Yeah.
DuckTales.
No way, Dewey from DuckTales.
No.
I know that guy.
Dewey in the film Foray.
Man and Evil Man. Wow, you even
Okay,
had
well,
passed through.
speaking of Wonder Seed, what did you guys think of the film?
It was something that I watched.
It was kind of mid. I know I give it 5 stars, but that's just to promote it. But in reality, it's fine. It's a nice spec. I can admit it's a good amateur animation, and you made it for college, and it's a nice little thing you made.
And for not being an animator,
It's pretty solid.
Yeah,
you did definitely make it in After Effects.
Yeah,
though.
you
I
definitely
did definitely make it an After
not
Effects.
Adobe Animator.
That's
a lot
definitely
of
tell.
a lot of it back looked like a Beck Lyons
Yeah.
credit sequence. I'll be honest.
And people like the Beck Lions credits.
Did you
Yes.
show it in class
as
or a
credits.
film festival?
I did show it in class.
What did people think?
It was the only animated film, so people liked it.
That's
Cool.
Were people like, "Oh my god, Beck, that was so good" afterwards, or
Someone called it Wander Peak, so I mean,
What about-
that's all I need to say.
what about Wander Come?
No, don't say that.
Okay, because Seed, Beck, and
Yeah, just don't say it. We understand, but just don't say it.
Wander Jizz. Okay. But no, it was pretty good. How long did it take to make it?
I want to say 30 hours or something. It was tough because it was figuring out how to do all the 3D camera stuff in After Effects. I've never tried doing anything like that, and also having 5 minutes of animation is crazy. The longest Beck Lions credit sequence is 40 seconds, and I had to go 5 times that length.
It looks like it was made in 30
Oh.
hours.
Yeah.
Take that what you will. No, it was
So
solid.
I mean, I'm proud of it. I think I'll definitely come back stronger with the next one.
What was your grade?
I got everyone. That's the class where it's kind of like video production. You submit an MP4 file and you get 100%.
And where'd you get the music?
Oh, I just public domain music.
Okay.
I used a lot of the sound effects, the music. Those were public domain. And I used public domain a grass texture for some of the background.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good little film you make. Obviously, it's not Celsius Oscar worthy. You're gonna have to rate something much better for that.
Wow. Yeah.
But no, it's
I
solid.
have a great one. It has this guy making lean in it.
Guys,
Absolute cinema.
at Celsius Inc., Beck will be the head of the animation division.
Oh, that's very cool.
And by head, you mean the only person in the animation division?
No, you're gonna head the whole department. Aiden, you'll be the vice president of sex.
Why am I
Who's not the
vice
CEO
president?
of sex?
Why am I vice president? What the hell? Some bullshit.
Nah, you'll probably
Uri is the president, but you're the CO, Aiden.
I don't
the
want to be.
CEO, Beck. What's
I don't
the
want to
CEO?
be adjacent to this at the same time.
Anyway, and Nikola is our engineer. He He's building the building.
He makes the bombs that we sell. We're
Who's
Celsius
the
Productions.
painter, though?
We make films and bomber airplanes. One
And
subsidizes the other.
Who's the painter in our group?
Hitler?
No, the painter, the guy that does the art.
Oh, well, we'll probably outsource it to, I don't know, Griffin or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely not Beck. We've seen his drawings.
Well, but he's had a animation.
Wow. I'm good when I make images move, but the moment they go still, it's terrible.
But guys, let's get into some actual drama. Like, so guys, we've
Guys,
been hearing.
let's say it was Aiden and Beck drama this time.
All right, here's the Aiden and Beck drama. Beck, what the hell? You bought me Bullseye, but he has a scratch on his mouth? Where did that come from?
He scratched it.
Okay. First of all, I did not see that. Second of all, you do not know how much of a fuck you pain it was to get that today, you Aiden.
I'm sorry,
You
man.
didn't know how huge those boxes were.
I know.
Look at how fucking big that is. I brought a backpack with all my clothes. And I was like trying desperately to like fit that with like all the
Bigger
stuff
than
we
my
were
neck.
bringing back.
Beck, how much?
Well, thank you,
how much
Beck.
did you
That was
spend
very
in
good.
Disneyland?
Well, those
Well, I
were
paid
70
for that.
bucks, but Aiden paid me back for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like a cool Baymax metal poster.
From Fortnite?
Yeah, he is in Fortnite.
Yeah, Beck, tell us about your Disney trip.
So I went to Disney and I went on all the normal stuff. There's like
Space Mountain?
3 things that are like kind of interesting. Is they have like a Deadpool show where they have like a guy.
did you-
in a
yeah, did you see
Deadpool
that?
suit. Yeah, I watched it. It was funny.
Which one did you which one did you see? Like what?
It was the Christmas themed one.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that was fun. And then I went on like the new Star Wars ride, Rise of the Resistance.
The new ones that are like 5 years old.
That's not 5 years old. That one's like 2 years old.
It's not too held on.
Because the first one came out in like
Rise?
2020.
What
and then
first
this one
one?
came in 22.
What's the first? What do you mean the first one?
The Smuggler's Run one.
Oh, okay. December 5th, 2019 at Walt Disney World and January 17th, 2020 at Disneyland. That's
Yeah.
5 years ago.
No, I'm talking about the other one, Rise of the Resistance.
That's Rise of the Resistance.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, I got my dates all
I was
wrong.
trying to
But
check my fucking
overall,
knowledge.
it was really fun because
I think that's one of the best rides at the park.
Because quite literally, there's the point you go in and you like walk into a Star Destroyer, and it's just all these random people they hired to LARP as Star Wars like Empire guys, and they're like fully in character, and it's really funny.
The opening of the ride is so good because you have the opening sequence with the Rey hologram and BB-8, and then you get into
Yeah.
the ship, and then you do the ship thing, and you're like, "Whoa, this is so interactive."
This is
And then
the end of the ride, yeah.
And then it opens the door that you came in, and you're in the biggest room you've ever seen.
And what the scale
Somewhere,
was
and there's
crazy.
a billion stormtroopers, and you're just like, "How the fuck did that happen?"
Yeah.
Like, it is one of the most immersive rides, one of the most impressive technical rides at the park. It has the trackless vehicle designs. The LARPing's really good. Just all the show scenes are amazing.
Yeah, and I knew nothing about it going in, so I was really excited. Or I was really
Yeah.
shocked by everything that was happening.
Do you know how hard it was to be a person that watches Disneyland content on YouTube and avoid spoilers for that ride for 4 years before I went on it? So hard.
God, Aiden, you're such a Disney adult.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? He made me buy him
I'm not
toys
the.
at Disneyland.
I'm not honestly Disneyland. I've never been too entrenched by the whole.
He
word
just
Disney.
hates fun and whimsy.
It's
I
fun.
know.
It's awesome.
It's fun. I've been to Disney World. Ever since I've been to Disney World, I kind of like took me off from like Disneyland. Like Disney World seems so much more vast and more interesting to me.
That's fair.
Disneyland, because like Disneyland is just like one park within Disney World. You have ever been to Disney World, guys?
Well, like
I
what? Like what?
have, yeah.
That's where I went. I went to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that
I
one's
only
good.
I only did Hollywood Studios.
Oh, I like that one. I wanted to go in Epcot, but I never got to go Epcot. That always seemed
didn't go
really
Epcot?
cool. I went to like
What about-
what was
What
it?
about Animal Kingdom?
I went. That one was the best one because I really liked the Avatar ride was really
Shape
cool.
Land?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was really cool. But Beck, so did you go by yourself and your mom or something?
No, I went with my mom.
Just you two? Are you
Yeah.
big Disney heads?
I don't know. We just like go every couple of years together. It was fun.
Does no one else in the family want to go?
Man, it's just like a thing me and my mom do.
I used to go to Universal Studios every few years with my dad, and I also really like that because I really love the Harry Potter and the Butterbeer in Universal Studios and the
Oh yeah, I've
Simpsons.
had that. That's really good.
Yeah, and the Simpsons ride is pretty good. There's only one ride in the Simpsons park, but it's a really good ride. And
Beck- yeah.
yeah.
Beck, what's your favorite ride at Disneyland?
Hmm.
And then also California Adventure, because you said you had a park hopper.
I've never been to California
I've been to
Adventure.
Park Hopper.
Really?
Yeah, only
It was
Disneyland.
great because
Yeah. Let me tell you what California Adventure is all about. California Adventure is so here's the optimal Disneyland experience. Day 1, get there at rope drop and ride all the rides you can. Day 2 is the California Adventure Day.
Yeah, that's
And that's when you do California Adventure, because you did all the baby rides. You did all the dark rides, the fun roller coasters. This is real man's turn. You're going to go on Monsters, Inc. 4 times because the line is 5 minutes long, and then you're going to stand in line for Cars Radiator Springs Racers for 7 hours because that's the best ride at the park.
are they
Okay.
are they in the same
Aiden,
park area?
I got some bad news for you. I was not able to go on Monsters Inc. because it was shut down, and every time it was open, it was a 30-minute wait.
30 minutes? That's so long. It's like always no one's in that ride.
I don't know why it was so busy.
So busy, 30-minute wait.
Yeah, but I love like the new fast pass system they had because it just meant like me and my mom could just do park hopper and hit all the rides we wanted in either park in a single day.
What's the system at Disneyland?
It's like an app and it's basically just fast passes, but you can book them from an app.
Oh, okay.
Beck.
It's not Genie Plus though, right?
It's not that, no.
Okay.
Like,
I don't
I'm
know what- I
surprised
don't know
your
what-
mom would go on all these rides. Isn't she like kind of like older? Like, wouldn't she get winded out by all these rides, or like what?
Yeah, well, all of them are like insanely chill. The only 2 she didn't want to go on is the Gardens of the Galaxy Tower of Terror one and the Incredicoaster, but that one was closed the entire day we were there. It
Man.
was annoying.
Because I know I used
Yeah.
to go on rides with my mom when I was younger, but then like when I don't go to amusement parks anymore. Like maybe in like 3 years or anything.
Yeah.
But
He's lost his whimsy.
I want to go back to like amusement park, like or Disneyland. Like I know,
We should do like Great America Celsius pod trip.
yeah. If it's
I'm
still
not
open,
a big fan. I'm not a big fan of roller
I
coasters.
love
or
roller
rides.
coasters. I love.
So
Yeah, there's not a lot of themed stuff at Great America for Aiden.
Well, there's a big Snoopy
Yeah.
theme.
yeah, but that's like 4 rides,
Okay.
and they're for babies.
Well, you are a
you don't like
baby.
Woodstock Express?
Oh no, I love Woodstock Express.
But
In
anyway,
fact, I went on it by myself. one
but
time.
I've also done Woodstock Express by myself.
But my mom
Yeah.
stopped maybe 7 years ago. She stopped going on any of the rides with me, so I just went with my friends, continuing because she was like, "I can't go on these rides anymore. I'm too old for this, like roller coaster stuff."
How old are your parents?
She's on like 50, so it's pretty.
Oh, my parents were in their early 40s.
Yeah. And she also gets migraines a lot. So and I miss roller coasters. Like I haven't been on a proper one in forever. So I would really like to like go on one. There's like the one in the local one, like the Great America one, the Gold Strike has always been my favorite ride.
Yeah,
there.
that one's cool.
Yeah. And I'm honestly, I'm assuming you guys look like guys who don't like the tower drops. Like that's too much for you guys.
I
I like
I
Tower
go
of
on
Terror because it's enclosed and I can't see how high up I am.
I love seeing how high up I am. Like
I don't like heights, which is why. So the
No,
enclosed
but
ones
Aiden, we're
are
gonna go skydiving together. That's gonna be so
no.
fun.
Yeah,
So the enclosed ones are fine, but then past that they're not.
Aiden, when we're eventually
Aiden, just wear a
skydiving,
blindfold. It'll be fine.
So the probability of us skydiving
is very high.
is so
Aiden, you promised at 1 million we're doing skydiving.
I did. I'll hold that up.
Guys, come on.
Jack, clip it. It's
Jack Cliff.
please.
21st
Anyway,
a day.
Beck, what are your favorite rides at each park?
Okay, so probably at California Adventure, Toy Story Mania.
That's a good one. You can play
Or,
that one on Steam because we own it on Steam.
We do own it on Steam. And at Disneyland, what was the one we went to first? We did Indiana Jones, which was crazy because that one
Forbidden
was like,
Eye is
closed
so good.
so much. But
Have
we
you not
finally
been on
got it.
Forbidden Eye?
Like I had before, but I like did not remember it at all.
Incredible ride. Literally incredible. The line, the queue is half a mile long. Yeah, that is
no, literally walking through it, me and mom were like, what the fuck? Why is this so long?
it's half a mile.
I gotta say, probably It's a Small World.
That's a good I like Small World. That's a good ride.
Yeah. It's simple, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I also just didn't want to say Buzz Lightyear or Astro Blasters because I don't want to pick two that are like very similar.
Yeah.
But I like the shooty ones.
That's fair. I don't know. My favorite was Splash Mountain. It's probably different now because Splash Mountain doesn't exist. It's probably Rise of the Resistance, actually.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I've only got on it once, so I don't really want to call it my favorite. But yeah, that one was incredible.
We went on it twice when we went.
Yeah. Okay, should we get into movies?
Yeah, but first, actually, let's talk about some industry drama or something.
Uh-oh.
No,
We got a ton of industry drama.
Not that one first, but first, guys. So what are the chances Spider-Verse 3 is ever going to come out?
Never. Well, it's gonna come out there, but there's gonna be some recasting.
Well, not only now we have 2 new directors doing the movie, and now we got all this Shamik Moore stuff. So
Guys, he just has El Riz. Come on, it's not a crime.
It's not a crime to harass women online.
Yeah, no. What do you even call that? Sexual harassment? I don't think that's a real thing.
That's not a real thing.
I don't know if he's going to get recasted though. I don't know. I don't think it's likely he's going to get recasted. I think it's just something we're going to forget about.
I think maybe separate recording booths.
Yeah. But and also the thing is, by adding new directors, it seems like they're probably not confident of the story they had for 3, perhaps.
Oh, maybe.
And perhaps they need a new vision. And because I assume the ones that are doing it,
Bill Lord and Christopher Miller. Yeah.
Miller and they'll probably still be on as like executive producers and probably will still be heavily involved in that regard. But perhaps the main vision will be other people. And so
Yeah,
that's
they've
kind
been EPs for both of the films, and the other films before this had different directors.
Yeah.
Like the director of one is different than the director for 2.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
And so it probably still be the same sort of story they're going to tell, just in a different way than I guess they would have done if they were the directors. But also, guys, I'm saying probably like a 2028 release or maybe 2027.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Because guys, remember when it was supposed to be last spring?
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
How did they think that was gonna happen?
I have no clue. And so it's kind of a tricky time to be in the Spider-Verse business or in the Sony Marvel universe. It's kind of a tricky time.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's something we'll get to later with Kraven and sort of my whole thoughts about that universe. Since, guys, after Kraven now, that this universe is over, at least for now.
Which sucks.
No.
because those movies were so bad but really funny at the same time.
I swear, why couldn't they do the crossover episode?
Well,
I
let's talk about the
know.
more pressing
Someone
issue.
leak the script of the crossover episode. I'm begging you.
Let's talk about the more pressing issue in the industry right now. The big
Guys,
This is
you should understand the theme of your movie, guys.
this is crazy for this specific movie. This thing happened. For It Ends With Us. Now Blake Lively is suing Justin Baldoni for claims of sexual harassment. Like she said, like he kept talking to her about his porn addiction or something, and he also did a recruited effort to try to ruin her reputation in the media. And
Incredible.
so, in light of these allegations, his company, his agency has dropped him while they still keep Blake Lively. And
That's
this is a crazy fucking thing that happened for this specific fucking movie.
For the movie
okay,
about
no. I think I get it.
assault
He's method
and
acting, you know? He's like
Oh,
really
the
trying to get into the
method
role. He's like Jared Leto.
Oh, okay.
I just think this has been a misunderstanding, you know?
It probably.
Yeah, guys, it's not sexual harassment if he's in character, you know?
And it's just fucking crazy for a movie about like like a man like assaulting a woman, that the director of the movie and star harassed the other lead in the movie.
How, like, come on, guys. As far as I'm concerned, we shouldn't have made this movie.
Yeah.
It's beginning to be more and more
You know,
prevalent
for
that
the
we didn't-
actors.
Yeah, it's bad for everyone.
Yeah, no, and there's also amid the rumors of like Blake Lively had a different cut of the movie, and Justin Baldoni had the cut that came out, and so
I would love to see that. Just because it's gonna be worse somehow.
Okay, but you'd have to watch It Ends With Us again. Are you really willing to do
Oh,
that?
I would have to kill myself again. Yeah, I didn't think about
they
that.
obviously his lawyer has called the allegations completely false, and obviously we can't say what are true. These are just the current allegations that are out right now.
Yeah, even if it's just rumors, it's still really funny.
Yeah. It's just like
That's like
it's,
that
it's
it happened.
crazy. For this, if it was any other movie, it'd be like, okay, that's interesting. But for this
Yeah.
movie, I don't know. We're gonna
This
have to see how this kind of
one.
plays out. It's kind of
Okay,
crazy.
guys, but imagine it does an insanely elaborate marketing technique for the sequel.
Yeah, it starts with
Whoa,
us.
I didn't even think about it like that, Beck. What the heck? Wow.
I would say
Yeah.
something that the fact that he was dropped by his company has some legitimacy to these claims.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you remember when Justin Roiland was dropped by Adult Swim, but then he was let off, kind of like he was found not guilty of these claims.
Yeah,
so
he
I don't
was
know how
acquitted.
valid we can take this head on. So
We'll see.
we're gonna have to see how this thing shakes out. It's really interesting. And I don't know, it's probably indicative of something in our culture. It's like you can't write this level of social commentary in a movie where
This is like a fucking episode of The Boys.
yeah, I don't know. It's like it's crazy. And so those are the two kind of big things. I will get to like what I think about the Kraven and the Sony thing later when we talk about Kraven.
Yeah.
But first, really big thing, the Superman trailer came out, and I think it looks pretty good.
It looks awesome, quite frankly.
I don't get all the praise around the trailer.
What?
I thought it was a fine trailer. I don't understand why people are like gassing this up as like, wow, I'm so excited for this film now.
I like
Does it look?
It looked good because it felt like a very Silver Age Superman, you know, like from the like sort of like the iconic era of Superman. It feels like a very more like sci-fi universe, and I'm excited for it. You know, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's gonna be good because it's like James Gunn, but I mean, like, I want to wait for like the official trailer to like get like,
That
really
was-
hyped about
Was
it.
that not the
that
official
was like
trailer?
the first, I guess.
That was the teaser.
I guess, yeah.
But
I mean, I want there to like be dialogue. You know,
were you a fan of the
Sure.
Man of Steel movie? The Man of Steel movie.
have not seen Man of
I
Steel?
have not seen those.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was like a much more dark Superman, and so I'm excited to see a light Superman that we can really aspire to, like the ones from like.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy, and I'm so down with Superman just being a good guy.
I don't know if I've watched the original any Supermans besides the like original Christopher Reeves one.
Yeah. Well, there's like obviously there's the Smallville show.
I haven't seen
No,
that.
and then there's what was it? I have a list of this.
Let's go.
I feel like a lot of the shows get praise for their
there's
their
the
Superman portrayals, but the movies don't seem to
Mhm.
get it as right.
There was
you
the
know?
Superman and Lois
Yeah.
show, which was the last thing on the CW Arrowverse sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that was, I heard, pretty good thing. The poster really reminded me of that show. I never saw the show, but I always saw like, it always felt the poster for this new movie felt kind of like that show. Because the poster didn't really wow me. It felt kind of like a very lower budget type of thing. But the trailer, pretty promising. It's going to be really exciting because like they have a bunch of different things. They have Hawkgirl, Lex
Excited for
Luthor,
Hawkgirl.
Guy
Yeah.
Gardner as like a Green Lantern, and so
Yeah, I'm surprised they're putting that many characters in like the first like new DC movie. I feel like they'd want to spend more time like building them up.
but the thing is, these don't seem like the biggest draws of this universe. I'm gonna say these are
Yeah.
pretty minor characters in comparison to the big guys like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And so I think it's actually a counterpoint that it's actually pretty smart because they're building up what this universe is and who kind of populates this universe. Because obviously we got the Creature Commandos show, which is the first like real thing we're seeing of this universe. And I'll talk about that later. And then we got the Peacemaker, which was in the DCEU, but now it's kind of been converted to this new DC. It's kind of the only one thing that's coming back from that universe. And
Yeah.
He kind of just wants to save the stuff he's made,
which is
what I'm
fair,
getting, you know?
which is fair because also
Yeah.
the Suicide Squad, I would count that probably as this in this universe, because like he made it obviously,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
no, I think it's a pretty exciting time. It is kind of sad that we'll never get to see the full Snyderverse vision because I was excited for I like the Snyder cut enough, and I was
Oh yeah, I actually did watch the Snyder cut and I enjoyed it.
I never saw it.
I would like to see sort of what he would have done with an Injustice take, you know? But it's exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys say anything you liked about the trailer. I thought it was looked pretty cool.
I just thought it looked really good. Yeah. I don't really have much.
Yeah, I mean,
This guy looks like a pretty good Superman, you know?
His depiction of Superman versus Clark is so good, actually.
oh yeah, I have been seeing the comparisons. They look like very different people, and I thought that was cool.
It's definitely the like baggy clothes, baggy head, how he slouches. It all just makes it.
And it works really well because like a lot of I think the recent more Superman stuff, they forget to get the Clark Kent part of Superman, you know? We forget all this like, oh, he's Superman, but he's also Clark Kent, the nerd bumbling guy at the Daily
The
Planet.
arguably more important part of him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because that's like who he really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I like about I like the whole idea of the James Gunn universe. Like, I think it's a really cool sort of like more comic accurate universe that has a bunch of stories, but also we have the freedom of Elseworld stories like the Batman. Because we're also going to get the Batman within the James Gunn universe and also other stuff with outside. Like, and then also including the Harley Quinn, that's part of the Elseworld stuff. My Adventures with Superman, Elseworld stuff, you know? And so it's
so like they can keep it going.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's always how it's been for DC. They just make a bunch of shit.
which I
all the
really like
time.
over Marvel because like in Marvel, they're always trying to create like sort of a continuity theme where DC is much more plentiful that you have other universes and stories.
Yeah, you can tell a lot more like different stories when you have to tie it into like 10 other things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I'm gonna say I'm kind of like I see why you maybe are saying it's not the most wowing thing. I'm not gonna say it was the best thing ever, but I think it has some promise.
It looks so good. It looks really good. I'm excited to where it goes, where it is. It's like it looks like a 4.5 out of 5 movie to me.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see like finally like maybe a Superman because I'm heard like Superman has actually like is like a Lex Luthor who's going to be formidable for Superman, which I've heard this is going to be like.
I
good.
swear What else is that Lex Luthor actor in? Because I swear
Nicholas
I recognize
Hoult.
him.
He was Beast in the X-Men, and
Okay, yeah.
he's
Yeah,
been
I
in a bunch of
recognize him.
things. He's gonna be in the new Nosferatu movie. He was in the running to be Robert Pattinson Batman, but he didn't get it. He was also in the running to be Superman, but he didn't get it. But he
Unfortunate.
got
Well, hey, that
Lex
makes
Luthor.
his never fucking mind. Never mind. Just kill me.
Oh, he was in the menu. Yeah,
He was in the menu.
The menu.
He was in the movie,
Whoa.
guys. He's in this movie called Juror Number 2, which is the last movie of Clint Eastwood's filmography.
Yeah, that
and
number-
they
the
fucking disrespected Clint Eastwood and by throwing it on fucking Max it without any details or anything like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
they,
was.
like-
It was only in theaters for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I wanted to see
Speaking
it.
of being in theaters for 2 weeks, let's talk about the fucking movie that we watched, The Lord of the Rings, The War of
Oh my
Rohirrim.
god, yeah.
It's already on Max. It came out.
Wait, it came out. I thought it was just coming out on
It's
on
co-
like
oh,
digital. No, it's on Mac.
it's out on Max in like 2 days. But the movie
Oh
came
my
out last week.
And we managed to watch it in the little
We
time.
watched it. All three of us. We saw it.
And
you know what?
I
It was fine.
It was fine. It was literally, I think it's the most movie I could call fine. Like, it never,
Yeah.
definitely never, impressed me so much, maybe the Lord of the Rings movies or anything like that. But it
Yeah.
wasn't, terrible. It wasn't, a slog to get through. It was just, an okay movie, you know?
It definitely, there were problems for sure.
There are problems in the movie.
but a lot of it is not really solvable unless you want to just make a new movie.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Some things that were like really confusing to me. First, like
Yeah.
the main guy dies, or like the main villain guy dies in one hit at the beginning of the
Well,
movie.
he's not the main villain,
And
then.
literally, he's not the main villain, but they literally draw attention to you should not have died from one hit, and they never bring it up again.
I didn't
Yeah.
understand that part. What is that supposed to mean? Is he stronger?
They needed
I thought it
they
was supposed to be the guy
needed
was
him-
shaking it.
yes.
To
They needed him to be dead for the plot to work, but they wrote themselves into a corner by writing it wrong.
And something about this movie is the fact that it didn't feel like Lord of the Rings in any
No,
real
not at all.
sense. Like Lord of the Rings, there's a lot of humans in Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings has elves and dwarves and hobbits. And this movie has none of that. It has only
Yeah.
humans in a part that they do mention a lot in Lord of the Rings, Rohan. And they mentioned Gondor. They had the horn of Gondor at the end when the Gondor people came.
Yeah.
They had what was it?
They mention things, and whenever they do mention Lord of the Rings stuff, it always feels a bit ham-fisted.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this movie has a perpetual problem of not enough Lord of the Rings and also too much Lord of the Rings in a way. Because when they do it, it's not good. And when they don't do it, I feel like, what's the point of this being a fantasy movie? Because Beck said it perfectly. He says, it just felt like any fantasy kind of universe.
Yeah.
Anything
I
that
mean,
you've seen
I personally haven't seen any Lord of the Rings thing, so I just got wow, this is just another fantasy universe, and I'm like, why do people like Lord of the Rings so much?
because that's not what that's basically not what it is.
No, it's not. It's not like there's nothing of the elements that felt Lord of the Rings. Because they mentioned, but then they try to do meet up Gandalf and they put in Saruman.
Helm's Deep.
That was so because Beck, for you it means
Oh.
nothing, but in a way,
No, the one thing is I knew something about the Battle of Helm's Deep, so I'm like, oh wow, this is where the Battle of Helm's Deep was. That's
I
really cool.
recognize that name. Wow.
I recognize the name. I have no idea why it's important, but I recognize
think
it.
it's just as bad as saying we have to find the Lord of the Rings in 200 years. It's
Of
almost
course,
as bad as that.
People looking for rings in this movie.
Which
They
makes
did.
no
Yeah.
sense at the end of the movie to just bring this up randomly. Because I felt it was there was no setup for it before. And honestly,
Zero setup.
and honestly
it just came out
the
of nowhere.
story, the animation beautiful animation. And
Animation was great, in fact.
but also it did not need to be animated except for one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe the only thing that needed to be animated was like the hawk, but everything else was just humans and like
I say the only thing that needed to be animated was like when the ocean pussy eating mouth monster ate the.
Oh yeah, no, that one. That also. Anytime there was like a big fantasy monster, like wow, that's cool. This should be animated. But then most of the time it's just humans.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Like,
humans
okay,
like
but
talking and
why?
moving and fighting.
Should we get into the plot of it?
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about it'll be quick.
There's this
It'll
really
be quick,
hot
though.
woman, and
So-
she.
So there's a
I
bad
kind of
guy.
forget what she did. She was really hot.
So the bad guy said, "Your dad killed my dad, so I'm gonna." And so he drives them out of their home, and then they're in a fortress, and then they're in the fortress, and then they beat the bad guys.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Tell me
and
if I left out any plot details, because I'm pretty
Well,
sure
there
I
was a
got
hawk
all of
too.
them. There's a hawk too, yeah. And the dad died.
I'm confused about the whole
For
dad.
some reason, he just got insane strength because he
Grief.
died and then he came back and then he froze to death.
Yeah,
That
I'm
one
not.
was kind of
Anyway,
confusing.
Okay, so there's this guy. He's like the king of Rohan, and then there's another like tribal leader who comes in and he says, "We should marry your daughter to my son." He's like, "No," and then they fight. He kills him, and then the son is all like, "Fuck, I'm gonna come back and fuck shit up."
I will fuck your
And then
wife.
they go to battle,
Didn't
but
say
it
that.
turns out one of the dad's advisors has turned against him. And then but the daughter finds this out earlier, and they manage to get the people out of like their village before it gets burned. And then the dad's son dies in front of him, and like
Oh no!
and then like the evil son who has like an assistant who was assistant to his dad who was killed by the other dad.
Yeah. Not confusing at all, guys.
He's
Not
like,
at all.
don't kill it, don't kill. Just what's the point of this? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna do it because this guy is basically an incel who gets really mad that he never got to date the girl he's in love with.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was dumb, and he got hurt one time, and he said, "No, don't look at me," and then he ran away. They're all British in this movie for some reason. I'm not really sure why that was the choice that
Well,
they
they're
were.
all
British
British the
in Lord
guy
of the
from
Rings.
Succession.
Okay, yeah, right.
And also the thing is, and they keep saying in this movie, all the shield maidens are gone. It was like this warrior tribe of women, and they're like, no, there's still one out. And guess what? That's the main character, the daughter, Hera.
Whoa, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I didn't know that. They didn't say that in the movie. Oh wait, yes they did. They said it a lot.
And then she kills
did
him,
say
the main guy, the main villain.
And then she goes to meet some guy named Gandalf, and I'm like, who's that?
I don't know.
What?
Who said that.
I don't know who Gandalf is. That guy, he
yeah.
seems like he might be important in 200 years.
That can't be right.
Honestly, it was just a very, very sort of like simple, predictable kind of story, and there was not a lot going for it. It looked great, and like it was fine. It was not the worst story-wise thing. There's much worse stories in the Lord of the Rings universe. I think the Rings of Power show is much worse compared to what this was, but it's not Lord of the Rings. At least Rings of Power, there is Lord of the Rings things in it. Like you feel it's and that's the case of too much Lord of the Rings, and this is the case of not enough Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's an okay movie. There's like fine. We were like one of like maybe 5 people in the theater, and 2 guys left.
Yeah, and we stole their seats because they D-boxed, but then they turned
And then
off.
they shut off randomly. That was annoying.
That was really weird. I don't know why they did that.
Perhaps they knew that the guys left, and they were like, "Oh, because the seats are like no one's using them. We can just turn them off."
Yeah, I don't know why they would have done that.
Maybe because they refunded the tickets as they were leaving.
they
I'm not
no,
sure.
because if you scan the tickets, you can't refund them.
Mm.
So I don't
Well,
know. We were just cucked
We
in our
got
free
D-Box for one battle, and it was really cool for that one battle.
It was fine for that one battle. It wasn't even that good.
Okay, well, I thought it was cool.
It was a fun. Big news. Christopher Nolan announced what his new movie is. And it's
Okay, I might
think
be
we-
dumb here, but when he said The Odyssey, I thought, wow, that's like a cool name for a new story. I did not realize it was an adaptation of the
Dumbass.
Odyssey.
Now, hold on. I'm confused though, cause which director are we talking about?
Sir Christopher Nolan.
Oh, Sir Christopher Nolan. Right. Okay, I know
Was
Sir.
he knighted by the Queen?
Yeah.
Like, made
Yeah,
it in
he
that
was
one
like
movie?
this week.
Yeah. He was knighted, and so it's now Sir Christopher Nolan. So we have to address him properly.
Yep.
And so it's an adaptation of the Odyssey, which I think, Christopher Nolan, it's an epic story, so he could probably do it justice.
I mean, he did do like Oppenheimer, and that sounded kind of boring on paper, but it turned out well.
He did make Oppenheimer. You're right.
So maybe he
he's-
could pull this off.
And he's creating new IMAX technology for this movie.
Is he really?
Wow. Yeah.
And he already has a star-studded cast. Matt Damon and Tom Holland are the stars, with Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Charlize Theron, Zendaya in a small role in this movie.
Damn, that's crazy.
Actually,
I mean,
guys,
they got Tom Holland. They got to get Zendaya.
actually,
That's true. Legally,
Spider-Man,
they have-
this movie and Spider-Man 4 are going to become very close within each other in the 2026 summer.
Are they actually doing Spider-Man 4?
Yeah, it's been confirmed. They're going to make it. It's coming out.
They said they wanted to make it a team-up movie. As if all the other Spider-Man movies aren't team-up movies.
I would like to see
No,
a Spider-Man and
they're
Deadpool.
definitely not team-up movies.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's going to come into, we'll sort of have another Barbenheimer where the main guy is Tom Holland between both movies.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's exciting. We'll see how that sort of pans out. There was a lot of rumors of what this movie might be. It might have been another James Bond, an adaptation of The Prisoner, aerial helicopter pilots, or vampires from like the 1920s.
Yeah. So at least now we have an official
Sort of plot.
reveal. Yeah.
I wonder how it's going to do, because Homer's story is a very epic story. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I wonder if it's going to be like in the real
Do
time.
we know who's playing Odysseus?
Dan Castanella, is that?
I don't know.
No, he plays Homer. Sorry.
Funny. But the thing is, I wonder if it's going to be like adapted to modern times or like a story in like the actual biblical ages.
I think probably biblical ages. I don't know what type of like Odyssey.
I think
you would
it'll.
do
I think
in
it'll be
modern.
like a. I think it'll be like a. Evan Almighty kind of thing.
That'd be really cool.
Beck, come on.
It's a comedy.
Yeah, it's really funny.
He doesn't make
Yeah.
comedies.
You don't like Jim Carrey?
I like Jim Carrey.
You don't like
You
Steve
like
Carell?
Bruce Almighty?
Yeah, I haven't actually seen Evan Almighty. I've only seen Bruce Almighty. I've only seen the Steve Carell one.
That I mean
The Jim
both are good.
Carrey one is really good.
Yeah, I believe it.
So let's talk about Kraven the Hunter.
Raven the Crunter.
Oh my god. So this movie
1, 2, 3, motherfucker.
They did say that was a
No,
line. in the
guys,
movie.
Luigi Mangione dresses up as Kraven the Hunter and kills some. What?
I'm sorry. What was his profession again? I didn't catch that.
He was the hunter.
Oh, he was a hunter. Oh, I didn't know that.
Guys, they say
was-
they say the word hunt like maybe 500 times in this movie.
No, okay. Are we sure it's him? He's only got up to like 8 people and said he hunts people.
He did only say that like 8 times, and then he was confused how he got found out.
Yeah, it's like guys, they make it seem like how could we know that he's Kraven the Hunter? And then like every image you have of him, like when you zoom out, and it says AKA Kraven the Hunter. Like, how do you get that
Everyone knows.
officialized? How does that happen?
How do you know? He just really wants it to stick. You know, he's like,
Look, guys,
Yeah.
I think he wants to be called the Hunter.
and then his last name is called Kravenoff. Because
So dumb.
so let's talk about this dumbass movie.
To be honest, one of the most entertaining movies of the year.
I had a great time.
I had a
Quite
great time
frankly.
with this movie.
So this movie follows another Sony supervillain,
Another villain turned anti-hero because
which is actually just a hero.
which is just a hero because they actually don't know what an anti-hero is. Venom is an anti-hero for sure.
Is he though?
For sure. He's for sure.
He doesn't even like. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say in the comics.
Yeah.
In the comics, he's an anti-hero. I'm sorry. In the movies, he's just a guy.
Yeah.
My bad.
But
So he played Memories at my funeral.
So finally, we have like this final take of this universe. It was a failed
What
universe.
would call a last dance?
A Last Dance, of
Honestly,
course.
that should have been the last movie in this universe.
No,
That
the last
probably
movie
should've.
should be the crossover.
It
And
should've
so
been a
we're getting
crossover.
the guy who played Quicksilver in the Avenger Age of Ultron movie to be in this guy as Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, he's that guy. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't actually. know that.
I did not know
Or the
that
guy
either.
from Bullet Train. Better movie.
Well, obviously better movie, but I know him as that guy.
And so
Yeah, you know him from the other
I would say
superhero
this
role
movie
he's done.
follows Kraven as he's a child, and like he's in a prison, and then he escapes the prison, and then he goes back for a 30-minute like flashback, which was unnecessary, boring as
And was
fuck.
boring.
Did not matter. It's like him and
Oh,
his
yeah.
brother are young. Him and his brother are young children, and then his mother, the father says, "Your mother killed herself, so we're gonna go hunting."
Your mother hung herself.
And you know what that means? Because I am a Russian man. When you kill yourself, you do not go to heaven. You go to kill yourself land. Kill yourself land is where you kill yourself forever. And that's what those were line for line.
now we go hunting.
And Russell Crowe is trying his best to do his Russian accent, and it sometimes works. And
Yeah.
so they go to hunt, and the guy's all like, we have to hunt this lion. This is a great lion. And then the brothers.
And then one guy comes up, he's like, hey, can I like hang out with you? He's like, you are weak man. You will never be strong man.
And this
Rip
hurts
bows-
him internally. It's like one of the dad's helpers, and this hurts him so badly. He has to dedicate his whole
Yeah,
life to
no,
this.
he dedicates his entire life for revenge. Because one guy said he was weak.
And then the brother, Crave, I get what's his name? Sergey finds
The brother?
and Dima or something, I don't know. Demo, something like that. Dimitri.
Oh yeah, Dimitri.
Dimitri, and they find the lion, and the lion eats like Sergey a lot, but then he like throws him out, and like the blood is infected in Sergey. But then this girl whose grandma's a witch. I don't know how this movie.
Guys, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. It doesn't matter. Some girl shows up with a magic potion named after a fucking lemonade, shows up and
But
says,
also there's a tarot card.
There's
You
also
forgot about
tarot
that.
cards. There's also tarot cards. And she goes up to Kraven and she's like, oh my God, this must be the tarot thing the tarot cards was saying. And gives him a green vial of liquid, like from Wicked. And he comes back to life after we see a megalopolis-like sequence. And then he comes back to life.
Vision sequence.
And then his dad is like, you may not stay in hospital. Hospital is for pussies. You come home right now.
And then he runs away from home, and his brothers are like, "You can't leave." And it's, "I have to leave." And then there's like
I
a,
have to
oh,
leave.
yeah, you do have to leave. Yeah, actually, no, I get it now.
and then
And
there's
so
like
then
a
he leaves.
and there's a long ass sequence with him in the jungle and his new powers, and then
And it's bad.
it's just like, and then cut to, I don't know, 20 years later, and it's all like, I
And
guess
then the good stuff happens. Then the movie starts getting good.
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. The movie gets good right about now.
Wait until his brother gets kidnapped. That's when it gets good.
And
Yeah.
then this movie has like such a weird pacing where it's like, where after the flashback, it feels like, okay, wait, that was only like 20 minutes. No, that's half the movie.
No, it's so funny because Uri just literally turns to me and is like, I can't believe they're doing this. This feels like they're at the halfway mark, but they're only 20 minutes in. I'm like, Uri, they are at the halfway point.
It feels like this is where it should be only 20 minutes in.
And the thing is, in any other movie where it's like, oh, it feels like, oh, this means like time is going by so fast. So I mean, it's a good movie. That's like good pacing. In this movie, that's the opposite effect. It means it's not working well. It's terribly fast and also terribly slow. And
Yeah.
and then so I assume when he's gonna go cut into the present time, he was in like the forest, like in the jungle for all this time, and then somehow got into prison. But no, you just been visiting his brother like kind of all this.
Yeah, once a year, and his
he
dad
went
is
to-
not noticed.
He went to prison to kill that guy.
Yeah, and so he
That's it.
yeah.
It was. Why was that the opening scene of the movie? That didn't set anything up.
Honestly,
We could have watched.
He's the hunter.
We could have watched him.
I don't think
do
you're getting
that
this. They
before
call him the hunter.
he tells everyone he meets that he's a hunter, and then gets found out and confused. Also, guys, skipping ahead a little bit. If he's the hunter, why did he have to ask Calypso to find this guy for him?
Yeah,
That's
guys, I can
his
find
job.
anyone except this random guy.
Yeah.
That's his job. That's his
honestly,
job. He's
No,
supposed to do
Hunters
that.
don't hunt people. They just do other things. Like
That's what he
sleep in
does, and he
forests.
can't do it.
Uh,
So the bad guy of this movie is the Rhino,
Which is
played by
fucking
the
crazy.
But
The
how do
plane-
we know it's the Rhino, Aiden? Maybe he
Oh.
has some kind of license plate that
Yeah.
says Rhino on it.
He does have that. And then they say, "Do you know why they call me the Rhino?" And then he goes,
I take your point.
"No." But there is a scene when he goes, "Here, I gotta turn off my noise suppression for this." He goes, he does do that.
Wild. It's great, and the CGI on the Rhino looks so bad.
Bad. He's not a guy in a suit. He's a guy that like turned Buffy for some reason.
No, and then this movie
Yeah.
is so stupid.
The Rhino looks like the medic TF2.
But guys, don't you know the famous Spider-Man villain, the Foreigner?
He is a villain. I googled him, guys.
Guys, and
So
you-
he's a real
the
guy.
most well-known villain.
So I did Google the Foreigner. He's a character in this movie. His ability is to pull down his sunglasses and say 1, and then everything freezes for some reason. So I learned on Google that he actually doesn't have abilities. He just psychologically does that to Spider-Man. He just looks at Spider-Man hard enough that Spider-Man thinks he can freeze time. You know what would be good for this movie? If we cut the first 30 minutes of the flashback and then explained the cool main villain powers.
Yeah, maybe we should explain our bad guy.
No,
And
they
all
wouldn't.
keep talking about some random dude in New York who's just been giving like all 3 of them powers.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
I googled
All
him.
of the 3 main
He-
villains have a random off-screen doctor just supplying them with
Who I
powers.
googled also. He's the Jackal from Spider-Man.
Yes, very well-known Spider-Man villain, the Jackal.
but let me talk about how. So he's out of he goes to visit his brother on his birthday. The dad has the brother singing like one of his restaurants. It's like he can sing anything. He's like a chameleon. They don't mention that like 5,000 times in the movie. It's
Wait,
like
he's some kind of chameleon?
He's some kind of Morbius.
because the other entire movie, the brother does this like
Voice changing?
voice
Yeah.
like of to sound like the father, and like you're so good at that. How do you do it? And then
I guess I'm just some kind of chameleon.
and
Wow,
and then the
you could say
Rhino,
that.
which was the guy who the dad made fun of 30 years ago, he's now become the Rhino because of this doctor who was the Jackal. And so that he's the main villain of this movie, and he has the Foreigner to help find Kraven the Hunter. And he's like, the Foreigner can find anyone on Earth, but the Hunter, he's been his biggest thing for some
Yeah,
dumb
guys,
bullshit reason. Like
He's never called himself the Hunter to a random guy in an elevator one time. It's so hard to track him down. He's too elusive.
he's so elusive, and Because like I don't know, the hunter killed like one of his friends or something. That's like the reason he gave? I think.
I think so. You know, I feel like you don't need to explain villain backstories at all in these movies, right? No one wants to hear that.
And then
That's
Calypso,
just boring.
and then Calypso, 30 years later, is like a lawyer, and now her friend was killed by this mob guy, and then Kraven wants her to help him, and he's like, I don't know, but then he killed the mob guy in prison, and that's the intro. Do you get it?
Yo, what? We start what the fuck is it called? Fuck, what's it called? What's it called when you start in like the middle of something? The middle of the action.
I don't care.
Fuck, there's a term for it. Leave it in the comments.
Middle
In medias res. Fuck, I'm an amazing film major.
Oh,
We
great.
start in medias res with him beating up the mob, killing the mafia guy.
Yeah, and then his brother gets taken by the Rhino guy, and then
And then the Rhino guy's like, wait, I didn't ask for you. I asked for your brother. Because you don't matter at all, you dumb fuck.
the dad's not going to do anything to help pay the payment for the brother. So Kraven the Hunter, you know what he does? He hunts them down,
On them.
and then
And by him hunting them down, he asked someone else to hunt them down.
they do this thing
He
where
asked Calypso.
throughout this entire movie, he has some sort of like helicopter person help fly him out of places and into places, which they don't give
We
any.
never meet them.
We
No.
only hear their voice, and we hear no explanation for how he met those people. And what's crazy about this movie is that this guy, he's a hunter, and he's so elusive. Like, have you heard about these 7 huntings around the city? Like, who did this? Not the guy calling himself the hunter who hunts everybody all the time.
Why would it be the guy that calls himself the hunter? Like, well, come on. Have you even thought about what you were saying?
I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
Apparently not.
it's who?
Are we even sure it's called Kraven the Hunter? He doesn't seem like a hunter to me.
I thought it was called Kraven the Crunter, to be honest, until he said
that makes more sense.
I thought it was
I
Kraven the
would think so.
Cruncher. You know.
it's not Cruncher. He didn't eat anything, but he definitely crunted all.
And the thing is, and then it's not the guy who, when you look on an image of him on a computer, it zooms up and says Kraven the Hunter. It's not that guy.
Yeah, no, the very elusive man.
This movie's not very good, but it is very enjoyable.
It is
For the
very
second half.
entertaining.
For the second half.
The second half. But the thing is about this movie, it's an interesting method where I think it's actually probably the least funny out of the 6 movies.
Yeah.
Because it's also the most like a real movie in a way, because feels like it has the bones of maybe something you could consider a real movie, where maybe the other 5 movies, except maybe the first Venom movie, you could say feels more like a real movie, where the other, I guess, 4-ish movies like Venom 2, Venom 3, Man Web, and Morbius, they don't feel like they could be any real movie at all. Where this movie, it's the most boring of all these movies, but it's also like the most like a real movie, which I guess is why it's more boring, I guess. Because like it's just like the character of Kraven is not interesting at all.
No.
It's like everything.
He has like 3 good lines.
Yeah.
Right, I'm so glad you mentioned this in your review. It is actually so sad how much stuff they fucking tease in this movie. The random Calypso girl, she has a backstory. They tease the chameleon at the end of the movie.
Yeah, because I want to talk about this. So his brother at the end of the
tease
movie.
so much stuff.
So after they defeat the Rhino, which was stupid.
Seriously, when they defeat Rhino, the guy pulls out a gun, and I think he's about to betray his brother. This is the stupidest twist of all time. So I start loudly saying in the theater, no fucking way. No fucking way. But no, they didn't do that. He just wanted to kill him.
And then like later, after Kraven kills his dad, because it turns out the dad sent Rhino after the brother to make the brother strong, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was dumb. Whatever it was, it was dumb.
He lets his dad get killed. In like such a bullshit way, like, I'm not gonna kill you, but all these animals.
I'm gonna send this bear to kill you.
And then later, when the brother was like singing, he's like, I went to the doctor that the Rhino went to, and like, I'm the chameleon. And like, he swaps his like, which is like, okay, I feel like if you heard this universe's ending, you should just end it at the part where the Kraven kills the dad, because like it's dark. It ends this universe on a dark note, but it's also a final
it's
note.
like
You know,
he became his father. Oh my god! Wow.
I think they had already filmed the entire movie and already edited the entire movie, and then they said, we should probably
They've
cancel
delayed
it."
this movie so many times.
I would be
Yeah.
I'm surprised it even like released.
I would be so sad if I was this director. Like, I made this movie teasing so many things. None of it's going to happen. None of it. But Beck can.
I mean, it seems like all the Sony directors were like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just take the bag. I know I'm making a bad movie.
I mean, we just need the crossover, and I'm okay.
Defeating Noel.
Guys,
the
so
God.
we need someone make a petition. Make the Sinister Six movie.
Hey, there's only
We
like
got 6 years. We got Venom. We got Madam Web. We got
Morbius
We got Kraven.
and Morbius. That's like 4.
We got the 3 Spider Girls. That's 6.
I don't think Sydney Sweeney would want to go back to this.
I need
For the bag, though.
Sydney to come back to this.
Honestly,
For the bag.
but the thing is, they tease Beck. They tease so many things in this movie.
They do tease so many things. It's so sad.
This is so. It feels like the end of like the DCU, where they just kind of like released the last few movies out because like they're just really. But at least the DCU had some good movies. They had not a solid movie ever. And
Yeah, because like even personally for me, like even if I don't enjoy something, I never want to see it end on a cliffhanger. That's just
sad.
annoying.
yeah,
For the people that
Yeah.
do actually like it.
yeah, and like
Yeah, and also just like I'd love to see, even if it's bad, where the story goes, what ideas they had for these characters.
because think about all the things they set up in this universe. Madam Web, and she's gonna do her thing with the Spider Girls.
The Skyrim people did not even get their powers yet.
Nope, not at all.
You know what was the one Spider-Man connection in this movie? When there's spiders dangling in the forest, or like in the vision.
That spider! His greatest fear is a spider.
And then guys. And then because the foreigner finally gets him, but then you know how he dies?
Oh yeah.
With a fucking
A
arrow. to his-
random woman with no powers pulls a crossbow.
Hey, listen. Listen. I've watched enough JoJo to know that a time manipulation power can only be bitten by an ass pull or a different time manipulation power. And so they went that ass pull route.
They did go the ass pull way.
And this movie,
But I thought the foreigner was a cool character.
He was a cool
he
character.
was more of a static character. He didn't really do anything.
Okay, yeah, but he was cool though.
I guess like his powers are just confusing. He had like the power of doing a Premiere Pro transition.
Hold on, yeah, because they forgot to explain it.
But this movie just feels like another symptom of what they weren't able to do. Like I don't know who incepted this universe, but I would like to punch them. Like, come on.
But Uri, we had some of our best Celsius pod moments watching these movies.
Yeah, I don't know. The foreigner, and they never ever felt like Spider-Man, which is the funny thing. This is supposed to be a Spider-Man universe. It never felt like Spider-Man in any way. And you know what's crazy?
Adam Webb was the closest, but that's because they had a spider adjacent.
You know what's crazy?
character.
They're canceling this universe when half of the movie's universe came out this year.
Yeah.
And also half of it is just Venom.
It's crazy that we got a Venom trilogy before we got a Justice League trilogy. Or
They gotta do Justice League right if they do Justice League movies. Like a live action one. They gotta
I
get
mean,
them all.
technically we got 2 Justice League movies. There's the same movie.
I think that James Gunn isn't gonna do a Justice League movie for like 10 years.
that's fair.
I think
he's gotta
I
build
think
it
he needs to
up.
set up so many characters for it to work.
And then we also
It's
got,
like what? All that the Justice League set up was Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. They set up no one else before the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And also you got the thing where what was I gonna say? It was something about because like post I don't know, maybe post all the Homecoming Tom Holland trilogy,
or anything like that. The only good thing from Sony in Spider is Spiderverse, and that's fumbling right now for the third
We're
movie.
fumbling that. Yeah.
And so it's kind of a sad state for the Sony universe.
Yeah, they're
like,
not looking.
They set up like a thing where
currently.
Noel would be like the ultimate villain that the Sinister, like the Six would like they would team up to attack, right?
Yeah, and they did set up an entire villain for the last movie, and then they can't go anywhere with it now.
They can't do anything.
Yeah, and it's like just so sad what this universe has become. It's like it's not gonna be good, but I would like to see a final movie to end this universe. So that's Kraven.
That is Kraven.
Let's talk about a better movie, Sonic 3.
Oh, hell yeah. Don't worry.
Okay, but Uri, it seemed like you did not like this movie.
Yeah.
You wanna,
so I don't know.
I like the movie. I'll say the
Uh-huh.
movie because the thing is, before you guys, I don't know, geek about all the Sonic references that you saw in this movie. I'm gonna say a lot. I'll say my thing about this movie. So Sonic 3, obviously for me, the best part was Jim Carrey. I think he's been the best part of these movies, for me at least. Because like I saw the first one when it came out. I didn't see the second one. I assume he's probably good in the second one.
He's good in the second one.
But he's really good in this one where
Yeah.
he plays two characters. And I thought the story was pretty good. Like there's nothing wrong about this movie. It was an enjoyable, fun time. But Beck, Aiden, this movie is junk food. It's junk food.
It is junk food, but I like
But it's
good
like,
junk.
okay, but it's like, I want a good ass fast food burger.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna go to like In-N-Out.
Yeah,
and
it's like the
gonna-
in and out of movies.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get like that fast food burger like a 5 out of 5. You give it
Sure,
like
I would.
I would. It's like nice, consistent, and that's what I love about the Sonic movies. They're nice and consistent. I would have given it higher if I thought this was because I thought this was going to be the end of the trilogy, or like a
No,
there's more. And so I thought it was
they
like
teased it
I would have given it like
on.
maybe a 4 if it was going to be the ending movie, but it's not. So I gave it like a 3. And
Well,
then-
actually, hold on. Before we talk about this movie, though, Beck, you watched the Knuckles show, right?
Oh yeah, I can talk about the Knuckles show. I literally finished it today because I watched the Sonic movie last night. I'm like, wait, Knuckles is really funny, and they released this show only on Paramount Plus, so I couldn't watch
back.
it.
Yeah.
So I watched the Knuckles show and I loved it. I thought it was
It's
insanely
really good, actually.
very funny.
Yeah.
Wade Whipple is my hero. I want to be like him when I grow
Wade
up.
Whipple is so good. He's better than Sonic and Tails.
Yeah. It definitely does feel like a Wade Whipple show and not a Knuckles show.
What did you think of episode 4, the by far best episode of the show?
The Flames of Disaster?
Flames of Disaster.
Yes, I do like the Flames of Disaster. I saw that and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so fucking ready for the Flames of Disaster.
The Flames of Disaster. And the movie, when Knuckles uses the Flames of Disaster, you gotta say the Flames of Disaster.
The Flames of Disaster. You know, before I watched this show, I thought the Flames of Disaster was a bowling move. But no, it's when Knuckles lights up his fist and he says, the Flames of Disaster.
Flames of Disaster.
Yeah. I feel like
does the Knuckles show complement the movie really well for you?
No. It's basically if you have not seen the Knuckles show, it doesn't really matter besides one
scene-
joke.
Yeah, like he's like
No,
in the
one
movie.
scene.
He's in the movie for one scene, Wade Whipple.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a really good scene. And
It is a good scene because it builds so much off the Knuckles show.
Is it why
with like little dialogue?
in the show Beck do they and Aiden do they have the gem?
No.
Yeah. No.
No,
But it's
here,
all
let me, here,
about
this,
Knuckles.
this is Sonic lore, is that Knuckles is the protector of the Master Emerald. In the games, the Master Emerald lives on Angel Island. That's the reason the island floats. And Knuckles is the guardian of it. But in the movie, he knows a better, truer warrior, being Wade, because of the show. The show proves that Wade is the real warrior.
And so he's made for the show. He wasn't a character in the games or anything.
He was in the movies.
He was in the first movie.
Was he?
He was
I
in
don't
the
remember.
first-
Yeah, it was so
yeah, he
good.
did so little. He does more in the second movie, actually.
I haven't seen that. That's the one with the wedding with the sister?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it better? Is this the best Sonic movie, guys, for you?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. Although I don't know if I liked the Knuckles show more or Sonic 3. I think I'm leaning towards I like the Knuckles show more.
That's fair. I think I like the Sonic movie more.
And that's also completely valid because it quite literally
It's
is
Sonic.
about Sonic.
It's about he
Yeah.
doesn't appear
Yeah.
in Knuckles, does he?
He is Pierce in the first episode, but
He's
doesn't
like
do
in the
it.
first episode. Yeah, doesn't really do that much.
I don't know. Well, Knuckles show is good and doesn't set up too much for Sonic 3, but Sonic 3 is like the best at being an original plot while also like being a Sonic plot. Like the first movie had zero relation to the Sonic universe, minus
Yeah.
Sonic is there. The second movie introduces Tails and Knuckles, and Jim Carrey gets more Eggman-like, but for the most part, barely follows Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's like an amalgamation of Sonic 3 and Knuckles and 2, but like none of the parts that make those games them
Yeah.
and their
But
story.
Sonic
It's
3
just
does
like-
it well.
Sonic 3 follows a lot of Sonic Adventure 2 pretty accurately.
Mm.
Well, not
Yeah.
pretty accurately, but like in their own way that would make sense for a movie.
So how does the shadow stuff play out in the games?
So the plot of Sonic Adventure 2 is that there's this black hedgehog that Gunn is chasing down but they also think it's Sonic. They think that Sonic has escaped and is wreaking havoc and stealing the Chaos Emerald. So Gunn arrests Sonic until Amy and Tails go to save him. And they are like, so it must be Eggman. It's obviously Eggman who did this, right? So then they gotta get to Eggman, but he's in space. And what is Eggman doing? Eggman is with Shadow and Rouge. Rouge is collecting the Chaos Emeralds, and Shadow is doing whatever Shadow needs to do. And Eggman's doing Eggman stuff. And Team Sonic is chasing after Eggman, trying to get the Chaos Emerald. But eventually they all meet on the or the Eclipse Cannon in the movie, I guess. Well, it's in the game too, but specifically the Ark, that's the station. They're in space, and Sonic gets shot out of the Ark into space and almost dies. But he had the Chaos Emerald, and Shadow, who wants to blow up the world, Amy comes up to him and she's like, hey, it's me, Amy. Is this what Maria would have wanted? And then he's like, no, it's not what Maria would have wanted. And so then he goes supersonic with Sonic, and then they blow up the Ark.
And Maria's the girl in the movie.
Yes, she's
Yeah.
in the games, in fact.
How did she die in the game?
In the
On
game,
the head.
she doesn't die in Sonic Adventure 2. Well, she's dead, but we don't know like exactly what it is. Shadow Dog reveals that she not only had space aids, but was also just shot with a real gun. Just like
What did
pistol
you expect from
and
the
a
people
bullet.
named Gun, Aiden?
Oh,
Their
right.
name is literally Gun.
Yeah, Maria gets shot by a gun in the games, which they didn't do in the movie.
Fine.
Well, I mean, they
That's-
attempt to.
It's like
There's
it's
like
still
that
a
one guy
kids
that's like,
movie, Aiden.
why would
Fine.
you shoot a
Yeah.
child?
That's true. They do say that. But that's Sonic Adventure 2 basic.
Okay, so that's
Um,
sort of the main inspiration for the Sonic 3 movie.
Yeah, is the Shadow and yeah. And the Gerald is in Sonic Adventure 2. He is not really a character. He is in one scene. It is a flash. It's like a filmed scene of him in prison, about to be shot down by a line of guards, and he's like, "I'm actually evil. I'm gonna blow up the earth because I'm evil."
No
So
way.
that's what Gerald does in the movie or in the book, in the video game. That's what he does in the video game. as opposed to the movie, which is an entirely different character. So let's talk about the movie. Actually,
Yeah, I want to say some things about the movie. I thought there were some parts I really liked, but and just here's some things I just want to note. Like Keanu Reeves did not really need to be Shadow. Like there's no part of Shadow that really felt like a Keanu Reeves voice.
he sounds a lot like Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay,
He sounds really similar to that kind of line delivery.
but so the movie kind of just Aiden and Beck, you can probably talk about what the plot of the movie is because Aiden kind of said it's like the game, but like what's the official sort of plot?
So here's what happened. Shadow escapes from Gun headquarters, and now Team Sonic has to team up with Gun to go fight him. But then they lose almost immediately because Shadow's pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
And
But then they need to go to the Chow Garden, baby.
Then they meet Mr. Gunn at Chow Garden, and he says Shadow was an experiment. He came from space, and we experimented on him, and he had Maria, and they were friends, and I was the one that froze him in the jello, and then he dies. Some of the egg bots blow up the Chow Garden. Oh no! And then a motorcycle man shows up, and Sonic says, "Konichi, what?" And then they follow the motorcycle man, and it's Agent Stone. And
Ben Schwartz as Sonic has always been really good in these movies. I really like him as Sonic.
I'll talk about that in a little bit because I've realized something. But they go with Agent Stone, and Agent Stone's like, it wasn't Eggman who did those robots or Shadow. I can prove it. Look how fat he is. So then we see some fat Jim Carrey, pretty funny, comedic, fat jokes.
It's kind of crazy that this is the only thing he comes back to Hollywood for. Like, he's done anything else except for these Sonic movies, which is kind of
yeah.
It's the only thing he'll come back.
He's very funny in them. So then they go track down where the egg bots came from. They came from Gun headquarters, and we see Maria and Shadow flashback of them bonding together. And Maria is the granddaughter of Gerald Robotnik. And so then she and Shadow hang out, and Shadow bonds, and then the Team Sonic shows up at Gun, and they split up, and then they all get captured. And Eggman runs into his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, and they have a fun scene where Eggman says, "For all the marbles," and
he does say "for all the marbles." That's my catchphrase.
And so he shows up. He says, "Oh, for all the marbles," and Gerald and Eggman and Shadow team up to blow up Gun headquarters and rule the world. And then Team Sonic go to Maddie and Tom, and they say, "We need your help," and they say, "Okay," and then they do a Mission Impossible heist thing, and then it goes wrong, and then
Tom gets fucking gut punched by Shadow
and almost dies, which then makes Sonic angry, and he says, "Guys, I need the Master Emerald," and Knuckles says, "No, Sonic, you must not use the Master Emerald. You said that you would not use the Master Emerald." And he says, "Don't make me do it, Knuckles." And he says, "Fine. I have hidden the Master Emerald with the fiercest warrior of them all." And then it cuts to Wade Whipple, my goat, Wade Whipple. You knew from the beginning that Wade Whipple, because they just got a whole show. Of course he has the Master Emerald. Perfect. So then Sonic takes the Master Emerald, flies up to the Eclipse cannon that's gonna blow up the Earth, and he takes Shadow and he fights Shadow. And he's like, you hurt Tom." And then he's like, "But wait, revenge doesn't make me a better person."
That's
and
crazy.
It's a really simple character arc for Shadow, but it works.
A really simple character arc for Shadow and Sonic, and it works.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they have a similar character arc, considering they're both space hedgehogs.
And something I want to say about the Robotnik stuff, I really like his sort of character arc in the movie where it mirrors Shadow's. Where it's all like he like realizes, obviously he doesn't become like the greatest guy, but he does take the sacrifice. Which, correct me, he's not dead, is he? He's going to come back in the next one.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
But
speculation.
I'm just gonna say I like the part where he's like his grandfather's like, "You're no Maria," kind of disrespecting him.
Yeah, there's that. So Gerald
And then
actually
you
the
realize
entire
the one
time,
man who truly loves him.
Gerald the entire time was actually faking it, and he's actually been evil this time and not that silly. He's pretending for his grandson to get his grandson involved. So then Eggman is like, "All right, I don't want to blow up the Earth. I just wanted to rule the Earth." And Gerald's like, "No, we're gonna blow it up." So then they fight. So then we got Sonic and Shadow fighting, but then they turned good, and then Eggman turned good, and
Eggman
Knuckle-
and Shadow die.
well, we're not. Well, no, we're not there yet. So then they
No.
fight. They all
have to
fight
go
together, and then Gerald dies. He gets slapped in the butt, and then he dies in the fan. And they push the Eclipse cannon, and it slices through the moon.
He
pissed then- on
the moon.
And it slices through the moon, and then the Shadow pushes the Eclipse cannon away while Eggman tries to stop it, and then Eggman blows up, confessing his love to Agent Stone, and then the Shadow falls to Earth and dies, and then that's the end of the movie, and it was great.
It was great. And so, and then they kind of like, they're family again, James Marsden and his wife and Sonic, and they're all good. James Marsden does not even be in this movie at all. Like, he doesn't really bring, like, him specifically.
died. He almost died.
Him isn't.
Yeah,
Like, there was
they
no
should've
shot they were
replaced
going
him
to
with
kill.
Wade Whipple.
There was no shot they were going to kill him. But I always really like him in this movie. He seems like a pretty good, like, actor for this movie. He has a fun comedic vibe with Sonic. And I always like him. But I'm going to say, honestly, I know I gave it like a 3.5 just because it's like, just a 3, but because like to me it's just like nice dumb fun, and that's what I think dumb fun is. But it's a pretty fun movie, and I didn't get the Sonic references, but obviously I could feel like when others got them, and it feels like it makes sense. Like they do.
You were going with like 3 of the biggest Sonic fans I know.
So let me tell you, Uri, now that we finished the plot on the movie, like
Sonic.
in like reference mode, it's really good. Like the first 2 have a couple of things, but then this movie has like direct ripped lines of dialogue and specific character stuff. Like in the race at the beginning, they play the like jingle when you finish the level or whatever.
Yeah.
And Live and Learn, the main theme of Sonic Adventure 2, is not only like in the fight when they're in space, it plays there, but it's also Shadow's leitmotif, which is like also really cool. They have a couple other song references just like built into the soundtrack, which is good. Uri, when they're in the helicopter and Sonic says, talk about low budget flights, no food or movies, we're out of here, and they jump out of the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
That is a line taken directly from the opening cutscene of Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, that's cool.
So like that was just like, and then they jump out of the helicopter, and then they do the move from Sonic Heroes.
I did get that one.
Wham, and then it's like,
I have a question. So you say in the second movie, Knuckles is the villain?
He works with Eggman. So in the game, in Sonic 3 and Knuckles works for Eggman because he's like, look at that echidna, fight that echidna. And Knuckles is like, okay. So then that happens, and then Knuckles gets on to Sonic's side after he realizes Eggman's a bad guy.
Does it
So that
kind of
happens
follow
in
the
Sonic
same arc as Shadow in the third movie?
No, it's different.
Okay.
It is different. It's similar, but it's different enough.
Okay.
But like references, this movie solid at them.
Yeah.
Like Chow Garden had not only was the Chow Garden, but they had like specifically the Knights Chow, and then one of them had the maracas from Samba de Janeiro. So it's like a whole bunch of just like gaggle of references. Uri, the moon slicing in half, that's from Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, they never brought that up after it happened that much.
Well, they don't bring it up.
It's definitely going to play into the next.
Yeah.
They don't bring it up in the game either. Basically, Eggman is just like, oh yeah, we're going to blow up the Earth. And to prove it, we're going to blow up the moon. So they blow up the moon in the game.
But then that would be the movie Moonfall, you know?
Shut up. This is Sonic. And Uri, there's a lot
the
of
idea from Moonfall. Oh
there's
my
a lot of posing that's in it. Like when Shadow and Sonic both do the Chaos Emerald at the same time, that's the pose from the game. When they cross each other in space, that's a pose from the game. There's a lot, like the set of the arc is almost exactly how the arc looks in the game. It's just like the most accurate to the game's movie while also being a pretty good movie at the same time.
Yeah. It was definitely you could if you were not a Sonic fan you could watch it, and if you were a Sonic fan you could definitely watch it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty like solid like fun kids movie, and really great if you love the Sonic, because it feels like good Sonic content, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about, because you said you liked Ben Short's voice.
I like it.
I'm at this point kind of like, yes, that's Ben Schwartz's character, but also like
It's always been
with-
Schwartz, you know.
with like Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails still, like that's Tails' game voice actor.
Yeah.
And Knuckles has like a rotating whatever. He keeps getting a new voice every like 4 years anyways.
Idris Elba's pretty good as Knuckles.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
I
like
think
Idris
Idris
Elba.
Elba's really
And
good.
Colleen O'Shaughnessy, that's perfect casting. That's why they kept her from the games into the movie. Just having Ben Schwartz there is like, I know he's a different character, but like
Ben Schwartz
I
sounds the
gotta
same
just-
in every Ben Schwartz thing.
I kind of want just Roger Craig Smith, right?
Is it similar or
No, so Roger Craig Smith is the current voice of Sonic, and he's been voicing Sonic since Sonic Color. No,
in the games?
yeah. How long has he been Sonic? He's been Sonic for 14 years.
Oh wow.
So he's been voicing Sonic for 14 years. He's the one that I grew up on for voicing, and I think that like having Colleen there and then having Ben Schwartz is weird. And
Well, I mean,
I'm kind of fed up with Ben Schwartz. I kind of want Roger Craig Smith.
but they
to
made
be
3
Sonic.
movies with Ben Schwartz. They're not gonna stop doing that.
Yeah, they can't do that. They have to be Ben Schwartz. I am hoping though that they get post credits scene. I hope they get the regular voice actor of Amy.
Yeah, I think,
Who's her current voice actor?
but I do think
Uh,
Amy was a really good tease.
Cindy Robinson.
I thought the teasers were
current voice-
way too long. Like, come on, this is more than the movie now.
No. Okay, Uri, you don't understand. Metal Sonic is a very important character, and Amy is also like an amazing important character. So they're probably gonna do a Sonic CD movie next, or a Sonic Heroes movie, because that's when Metal Sonic shines the most. If they do a Sonic Heroes, then I think if they do Sonic Heroes, then we have to see probably Rouge and maybe like Omega or so. If they do Sonic Heroes, they're gonna have to introduce a bunch of. So they're probably not gonna do Sonic Heroes. They're probably gonna do Sonic CD, and that'll be good for like a lower budget kind of one, because I don't think you would need Knuckles, Shadow, or Tails for that one, or any of the human characters, because Sonic CD is a time travel.
How
Or time
many
travel.
Sonic movies do you think they'll make?
Dude, they could make as many as they want.
But
Yeah, they probably can.
Robotnik, he's not dead, is he?
Oh, he's totally dead.
Are you?
There's no way he comes. There's no way that Jim
he
Carrey
died in
comes
the
back
second
to a
one.
fourth movie. I think we're getting Stone as the next Eggman.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I don't know. It seems like Jim
Or-
Carrey likes these movies.
Or the Sonic games have other villains. There's Iblis, Silver, Metal
There's
Sonic.
Chaos.
There's Chaos. There's the Deadly Six. The Infinite. There's a lot
I
of
doubt they're going Deadly Six.
They're gonna do Deadly Six. No, but there's a lot of characters a lot of villains they could just go with instead, or just have Stone be Eggman.
Is Knuckles 2 getting a renewal, or do we know anything about?
If he gets a renewal, or if there is another Sonic show, it's either gonna be a Shadow show or a Team Chaotic show.
But didn't
I know they
Shadow
already
die?
want. No, didn't you see the post
Oh
credits?
right, he didn't die. I forgot. Yeah,
No.
yeah, he's still alive.
But I think we're gonna get if we get another show, I think it's Team Chaotic,
Yeah.
because that's what they wanted to do anyways.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of want to see. I hope though in the next movie with Metal Sonic that it's more of a Metal Sonic from the Sonic OVA rather than like more modern Metal Sonic where he's just like a little baby but he's a robot. Like in the Sonic OVA, he's a that like can think exactly what Sonic is thinking. So it makes for really interesting scenes where they're completely just clashing against each other.
Mhm.
And he like self-sacrifices at the end and I think that's really interesting.
Oh, okay.
Where I don't know.
No, it sounds like a great time to be a Sonic fan.
Yeah.
A lot of great Sonic content, I think. Yeah, no. Go watch Sonic 3 if you want. Last thing I want to
Please.
talk about is I watched Creature Commandos. I'm caught up. You guys really should watch Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
It's like the first kind of start of the DC studios, and it's pretty good. It's like adult animated stuff. Like I know Nikola already talked about the first 3 episodes. The 4th episode came out, and they're building like a pretty good story using these characters. Like I really like when these sort of lesser known characters in like comics get their own adaptions, and this seems like a pretty good adaptation. I'm having a pretty good fun time with it. It's pretty violent, and yeah, no, it's a pretty solid show. So it's like if you like the Suicide Squad, you should really catch up on this. So you can watch it weekly. It's like a pretty good type of DC universe sort of thing, and yeah, no, it's interesting. It's like it's interesting to see how sort of this is the first real thing from DC Studios, technically.
Yeah.
So we got the Penguin, which was Elseworlds, and we're getting Peacemaker, but it's not. And then obviously the big first start is the Superman movie, but we're kind of talking about that.
Was did like James Gunn have any creative control on the Penguin?
No, I think it was probably just maybe I'm assuming producer at least. I think maybe a producer, but it's mostly Matt Reeves and all that stuff. But he's letting Matt Reeves have full control. Something interesting that in 2026, Clayface, the movie is going to come out like a month before Batman Part 2.
Yeah, that is weird. I feel like you wouldn't want them clashing too much.
It's interesting. But I don't know. Because like I like to, it's interesting to see Elseworld stuff because like Clayface is like a Batman character and so close to the Batman movie. So I don't know if people are going to get confused, but I don't think the general audience knows who Clayface is anyway.
I also feel like I feel like it'd be very hard for him to do without just making like a giant CGI mess.
I don't know. It's Mike Flanagan, who is a big horror guy in the thing. He's
I don't know. I feel it could. I mean, they did Sandman.
Yeah.
Like
They did do Sandman.
I'm saying this be a practical thing. I think maybe CGI and practical at the same time.
Maybe.
But no, it's the Creature Commandos. It follows like a really good solid show. Frankenstein's in it, and that's pretty funny. He's like kind of a weepy baby in the show. We follow Rick Flag's father and all that stuff. G.I. Robot, Nikola talked about that, but it's really funny.
Yeah.
No, I really recommend it. It's a pretty good show.
Yeah, I got a lot that I'm watching over the break, and I definitely want to try to fit Creature Commandos in there.
And Aiden, this seems like the perfect show for you since you like animation, DC, and all that stuff. And
yeah,
Probably.
and you like it's kind of Harley Quinn vibes in a way, but some of that. They definitely say fuck, you know.
Whoa.
And they never said like fuck in any of the Justice League animated shows, right? Or
Those are for like teen audiences.
Teens.
yeah.
I mean, there are Nazis in them.
So my recommendation is watch Wander Seed by Beck.
Do watch Wander Seed by Beck Lines and watch Dreaming by Uri Ponte.
Yeah. So always use Celsius.
Always use Celsius.
If you want.
Use Fahrenheit.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, like, you can be a stupid Fahrenheit head. We won't judge you.
I